together.
Hi.
Look who's
Usually
together.
I say hi, Aaron Fulk. You're right here.
And then I go, hi, Sky.
Do we look at each other when we go like this?
No,
I don't know.
Weird. Just hear me out. I don't even know what you look like in person. Hi.
You know, it's like when you have I have business partners do a lot of lunches with, and then all of a sudden the person you come to lunch with, they see you sitting on the same side, and then it's just weird. So you just try to spread out. So not normal to be together on a podcast. I think it's like the second or third time in 5 years.
Yeah, it hasn't happened very often. I was going to tell you a funny story about that. So Sander and I, whenever we do shoots here at the office, we'll all come at lunchtime. He'll do the video shoot, and then we'll take the client to lunch over at Summit Grill over there. And
good spot.
There was a few weeks ago, he went to order something, and I said, "Oh, that comes with the shoestring fries. You like the steak fries?" And the client looked at us like, "I'm like, we've just worked together for a long time."
I do it all the time.
Right?
She will have the Diet Coke. I know she just left.
Yeah. They were like, I'm like, no, we've just worked together for a really long time. So, how you been?
Doing good. It's making me think. It's like when you order, you're like, no, they'll have the Diet Coke, and they go, we have Pepsi products, and I'll go, no, she'll just have water.
Right. So, they're like, how long have you guys
been together? So it's Aaron's birthday on October 12th on Sunday. We're both going to be at the Chiefs and Lions game.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I wonder if Jay or Riley from Bestway International is going to be there, or if Chris or Brian from Evardy Construction are going to be there, because I bet they could be.
I bet they could. Yeah, we'll both be there. It's your kiddo's birthday, same day.
Yep. I have a son named Nick, same day. It's a special day, October 12th. It's a really cool, what a great time of the year, right before Halloween. Weather is always great. Has it ever snowed on your birthday?
It's never snowed, but I will tell you it was way cooler in the 80s, because we used to get like school off for Columbus Day before we canceled Columbus Day, right? So I would always have my birthday off because it's the actual Columbus Day, or the Monday off around it. And then Kirk Cameron was like the hottest thing back then, and it was his birthday. So
really, I can't believe you referred to the 80s on this show.
I know, because I'm old. I'm old. I'm gonna be so old this week.
But if I were to talk about the 80s, and you'd be mad at me.
What year were you born?
1986.
That's cute. Okay, well, I was.
Isn't that a Taylor Swift song?
No, it's 89.
Okay, I'm way off. I can't do it.
Wait, did you see me in People Magazine?
I did see Aaron Fulk in People Magazine about her relationship with Travis Kelce, and a great non-for-profit Shadow Buddies that Aaron and Travis both worked on.
Okay, listen, I've got to give People Magazine a shout out, because when they want to do the story, I was like, this is cheesy, because they reached out to me on TikTok, but they said they would cover Shadow Buddies, Operation Breakthrough, and the 76, whatever his 75, whatever his nonprofit is. And they covered all three of them. So all three got national coverage, which was really, really great. So anyways, I don't know why.
And we're together today because Aaron is shooting the video for KC Can, the Children's Assistant Network for Kansas City. And the gala party is on Friday.
It's Friday, so you guys are going to see costume pictures of me and Scott coming out very soon. All right. Even though if you're going to wear that costume that you said you're going to, we're not going to be able to put pictures up. All right. Like we said, we want to thank Bestway International and Evardy Construction for sponsoring, as always. And I was wondering, there's Paul. I was just about to ask you, where are you watching us at? Are you watching us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube? And Paul said, watching from that closet behind you. And that's why Scott would have. Hey, you guys, I actually have an office. This is our office. I just never come here. So let us know if you're watching the replay or the live. We actually have a fantastic guest. You guys want nothing to do with us today, because our guest is way cooler and way better. So we're going to bring him in. I'm going to still play this terrible, even in person. All right. So today we have one guest, because he's so impactful. We wanted to bring him on. He is, how do you know him? Did you know him?
I met him through Jeffrey Chapman. Big deal.
Really big deal. So we're going to bring him in now, Dr. Andy Jett. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Hello. How is everybody?
Your name is really cool to say.
That's a great name.
I do like my last name. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like the whole thing. Good thing you added that doctor. That really gave it a little more oomph, too. Welcome. We are so excited. First of all, I'm going to throw you a little thing here. Tell us what you do.
Well, I am currently the interim president at Avila University.
Love it, love it, love it. We're getting into our regular questions, but I know our audience is going to have a lot of questions. So make sure you're asking over here. Because we have one guest, we should have a little bit of time to answer some more questions too. And Alfredo says he is watching us live. Awesome. Hi, Alfredo. All right. So we're going to ask you our regular questions and then maybe pivot on some of them. All right, Dr. Andy Jett, who are you? What did you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Well, as I said, I'm the interim president here at Avila University. If you don't know where that is, we're about 119th in Warnell. We've been around since 1916. Started by the Sisters of St. Joseph. And we are always looking to bring more students to join our family here in Kansas City. I've been in higher education for 30 plus years. I started out working in college bookstores and did that for almost a decade. And then I needed to get off the road. My kids were getting to the point where they were starting soccer, and I was not at home as much as I needed to. And so I started working at Baker University, which is, many of you may know that, down the way south of Lawrence. And I worked for them for a long time in a variety of capacities, most of it around technology integration and development. And then about 5.5 years ago, about 6 years ago, I finished my doctorate degree. And then 5.5 years ago, I came here and started being a dean, and then eventually was executive VP, and then now I'm the interim president.
Wow. Look, Megan is watching from Avila University as
Way to
you're
go,
speaking.
Megan.
Good job, Megan. Extra points. So you've been there for 5.5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's fine. It's my energy.
Yeah, that's right. Doing
It's my
CrossFit
energy.
6 days a week. So the interesting question, was there a teacher early on in your life that made an impact where you're like, I want to pursue higher education?
Oh, well, I think two people. I grew up on a farm. I grew up in, riding horses and gathering cattle and cutting wheat in eastern Colorado, western Kansas. But there was my speech teacher and drama teacher. I was this nerdy kid. I played sports, but I was more. I was 6'4". I'm a 6'4" guy, but at the age of freshman in high school, I only weighed 98 pounds. So you were going to throw me around a lot. So I started getting into theater and organizations like that. And I had a speech teacher who really allowed me to get out of myself and recognize that I had some abilities that I could get in front of people and tell stories and get in front of people and convince them to do things. And so that really helped me as I got into college to kind of figure out, how I can make a difference to an organization. So she was really a big player for me as I grew older. And then once I got into my career, I've got several mentors that I really would call upon on a regular basis. And when I'm faced with an opportunity and I'm questioning whether it's the right move or not, they've been really great about kind of kicking me in the butt and telling me to make it happen. So.
Okay, so to bring this full circle, because I'm not sure everybody knows, Avila has a fantastic theater department that people come from all over to go to. So how much have you dove into that now that you're like, how have your worlds collided?
Oh, yeah, it's very much. I mean, the time that I've been here, I try to go to as many shows as possible. There's a great set of faculty and students over there that do amazing shows and musicals. There's choirs. We have a theater technical program where students can come and learn how to be kind of the back office, I call it, of theater shows, right? They make sure that the lighting's right, the sound's right, and learn those skills so they can go out and be a part of larger shows here, not only in the Kansas City area, but nationally. And so we do a great job, and I'm really excited to be a part of helping them grow that and get more people to understand. We have a Goppert Performing Arts Theater, which is just a few years ago got a major facelift, about a $6 million facelift. And so we have a large auditorium, but we also have a black box theater where it's theater in the round, and also lots of other opportunities for students to kind of engage in all things theater.
Are you guys having a watch party from Avila today? Kind of looks like it.
I have a feeling Jeff told everybody to join in.
This
Yo,
Jeff
Jeffrey.
watching from
There's
all
Jeff,
over.
right there.
Good, Jeff. Run it up. Run it up. Listen, here's my favorite compliment to ever get.
This is the coolest.
Yes, that's my daughter. Yeah.
I love that.
That'd be the best. That's the best comment in like 5 years.
Yeah, that's a great
That's really
compliment
cool.
to have. Real quick before Scott asks his question, we're supposed to ask you about your killer bowling skills.
So yeah, I gave up golf a long time ago because why anybody plays that sport, because you go out there, you think this is great, and then you want to throw your golf clubs in the lake. But bowling is something my parents played it, so I learned to like it from them, and I've just always played it. So I do play in a few tournaments every once in a while. So.
Do you have your own ball?
I have 3 actually. Yes, I'm one of those serious nerdy bowlers. I have 3 of them.
Wait, have you gone to Dave and Buster's and played their virtual bowling yet?
Yes, that's a blast. Yeah,
because you feel good. You feel really good at
you
bowling.
feel really good. Or the one on the Wii, right? There's 1,000 pins, and you try not.
Yeah, the golden pins.
Right.
I just did it this weekend. More Avila people watching. Awesome.
Way to go, Jeffrey.
All right, your turn for your question.
His name is Dr. Pins when he's in the alley. Andy, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
Well, I think, years ago, when I first joined Baker, I was hired as a project manager. So I was, still had this kind of narrow perspective of college retail and the bookstore industry, but I took on an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what higher education does. And I had a serendipitous moment of they were getting ready to install a institution-wide ERP system where, I got to learn every aspect of the institution, from the back office all the way to the front, from admissions to advancement to academic processes and all of those things. And that really has changed my career, because now I have the ability to talk in the language of just about every department and hear and understand and solve problems. I was a chief information officer, yet I didn't have a technology background. I've just always been a really good problem solver. And that opportunity to go through that multi-year process and really work with every person on campus and understanding their needs and how they use data and how they serve the students or serve their constituents differently has really helped me be who I am today, which is somebody who's known for, being able to sit down with anybody and solve a problem and come up with a good solution.
Out of all the departments in a college, what was the most shocking to you that you either didn't know was there, or that you found yourself diving way more into than you thought you would have?
I probably 2 answers. One, I think advancement, fundraising is always a real challenge, I think, and there's a science and an art to it, and I was just fascinated by that. The other piece was really admissions, which is similar, right? You're trying to convince people to come here, and there's an art and a science to that. And nowadays with technology and with AI, there's even greater opportunities to try to tell your story in different ways and try to find out who are the students that want to be here, and on the advancement side, who are the people who are willing to give you or invest in you and give you funds to be able to offer scholarships. How
much do you have to play in that new NIL space as well? You have to play in that. How much is that?
We're done. We're an NAIA school, so we're not in that arena.
You guys don't have to do that.
No.
Oh, you got off. That seems. Just the whole thing from where you started to even with or without NIL, and how social media plays into your whole space is crazy too, huh?
Yeah, I'll let the bigger schools deal with that.
You just hold your breath for your turn.
Yeah. Aaron always asks really thoughtful questions. I hope mine's not boring. How old were you when you decided to go through that ERP conversion, and what made you so motivated to learn all the different parts of the university?
I was 2004, so 20 something years ago. I'm 58 now. It really was an opportunity for me to say, higher education is where I wanted to be. I knew that's where I wanted to continue my career, but I didn't know for sure at that point what all that would look like. But when I got the opportunity to spend so much time with different individuals across the campus, I recognized very quickly that, running an institution like, whether it's a smaller school like us or a larger state-run institution, it's like running a town. It's like running you're doing everything from housing to IT to public safety to, all kinds of things. And so you're never bored. There's always a new thing every day. There's always a challenge to be resolved. And that was really what helped me in that moment, was recognize this is the career I wanted to be at. And it's hopefully, knock on wood, it'll be the career that I can retire from.
Okay, I have another question. So you started in bookstores, right? And I was a big fan of the Cliff's Notes books back in the day, right? Which, by the way, if you talk to Gen Z, they don't even know what Cliff's Notes means.
No, they have no idea.
What has been the biggest, like, I guess, like, way you've had to shift your mind from going from like Cliff's Notes to now? I imagine there's some like stuff you've had to do around AI and how that plays into the classroom and how that plays into like the education piece. What's been that biggest shift?
AI for sure. That's kind of where I figured your conversation was going. It is dramatically changed. And I was literally just having a meeting about that same topic a minute ago. There's two things I think to think about. Is one is, when the internet was first coming about and people starting to understand how to use it, we recognized quickly that information was accessible. Now information is not just accessible, we're now able to drill down in it, and we're able to summarize it in a way that we can get access to that data in a much more succinct way. Instead of having to read a whole bunch of stuff, now we just have it read it for us and give us a summary of it and pull out the things that are important to us. And what that changes is, for higher education, is we have to move away from knowledge sharing to skill development. We have to train students how to now use this new tool, which is AI, and how it's going to change everything. But in many ways, it hasn't changed our priorities, which is building critical thinkers, building people who can get along with other individuals, who can solve conflicts, who can look at a problem and tear it apart and put it back together. Those are things that AI is not going to help you do. It can assist you. It can give you pathways to gaining information to help you do that better, but there's still skills that we got to make sure students have. And so higher education, that's where we're moving. We've got to move away from being knowledge sharing to skill development.
It almost feels like those skills are more important than ever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Because anybody can come off that way in writing and stuff now too.
And I think students nowadays, and I'm not trying to be, generational shaming here, but every generation has a slightly different kind of motivation to do certain things. And I think students coming out of after COVID and into the environment that we're in today was so many students not really engaging in the way that you and I maybe have engaged when we were in their age. We're doing a lot of work here to build community. It's the idea that we got to get students off of their gaming devices and off of their phones and talking to each other, because so much of the skill development that we're talking about requires them to engage with each other, engage with people who are their coworkers or their clients, or to go out and do networking with people, because that's so much of that is just a skill that they don't get when they spend so much time alone in their dorm room, or they're alone in their basement of their parents' house, right? They need to get out and engage and recognize that when they go to talks to somebody in an interview, they're going to be asking them questions about how do you engage with people? How do you meet people? How do you solve the problems you're dealing with? And if they aren't able to talk about how they solved it with other people, that's going to be a challenge.
Have you heard this term yet, zip coding?
No. What is
I
that?
just heard it yesterday for the first time. It's a Gen Zer term, and it's even on these dating apps, they're putting just their zip code, so they don't even have to leave zip code to engage with people. Yeah. Because everything's become so virtual. I just heard it yesterday. I kind of love it for my 46-year-old woman. Right?
So Dr. You've had a lot of recent success. Can you tell us a little bit about Avila's growth and things that Kansas City should know about and the country should know about?
Yeah, well, yeah, we've Avila is a bit of an anomaly when you look at data points right now. From 2022 to 2024, we grew 101% in enrollment. So I have to give a lot of credit to our former president who's here. Him and I worked very closely together. He went on to a new career move, but Avila University did what a lot of institutions are looking at. We've got to diversify where we're finding students. We're trying to diversify what our offerings are, because there's a lot of challenges out there, and workforce is challenged with whether or not students are coming out prepared or not. So we're trying to make sure that our students are. But where we really had a lot of growth is international students, even our domestic students. We had some growth in those numbers as well. But we just put a lot of effort into making sure we looked everywhere, including across the globe, for students who want to be a part of Avila. And we're just really aggressive about taking our message, taking the message of the sisters, taking the message of being workforce ready, and saying, do you want to come be a part of Avila? And we've been really lucky that they've said yes. So.
101% is huge.
Yeah, especially in your industry.
Yes.
Okay. So how, because there's still some constraints, like with class sizes and stuff like that, right? So how do you grow beyond that? Do you use some of the stuff that the kids are already used to, like some more virtual classes, or how do you even expand that more?
Well, that's that diversification, right? So we're not just, well, obviously we have our traditional campus here. Students come to class every day, face to face. We also offer what we call hybrid classes. Students can come here for a little bit, stay online for a little bit. We also have fully online classes. We have classes that we offer to international students who are still in their country, offshore, right? They start their programs, say in Nepal or India or Germany, and then they'll come here and finish their degree after a couple of years. And so we just have been really flexible about all of the different ways that students can obtain their degrees or whatever credential they're looking for. And that flexibility, that ability to be super innovative about how we go about engaging students is what's really allowed us to grow.
What if I am a parent, but what if I was a parent and my kid didn't know what they wanted to do? And I said, well, I want my kid to go to Avila, but I want Dr. Jett to tell us the top 3 things right now that are going to be awesome careers 10 years from now for me to invest in college. What do those careers look like in 2025? What do you think is going to grow?
You would say every degree that's offered at Avila,
right?
But it's not.
Right.
Yeah, but what are the careers? Because they are different than when we were in college. They're very different.
Well, I tell students all the time. I mean, a lot of times the degree you're getting today will be somewhat obsolete pretty quickly because that's just the nature of information and the nature of industry, right? But I think what you will get in just about every program is you're gonna build an understanding of how to communicate with people. You're gonna understand how to tell a story. Storytelling is hugely important, or be able to write it, to be able to say it, to be able to communicate it. And then just critical thinking. It continues to be, when we're a proud liberal arts institution, and one of the major components of being a liberal arts institution is we teach people to think critically. And in a world today that, we have to decipher and discern data almost instantly, all the time, to make sure that what's in front of us is it real? Is it not real? Or am I being manipulated? Is this, what's somebody trying to make me do here? And so we really want to teach students how to do that. And I think just about every major, not trying to skirt your question, but obviously healthcare is a big thing. It's a demand. So we have really great healthcare programs, nursing, kinesiology. We help prepare people who want to maybe go on to be pre-professional healthcare professionals in other areas. And business and education, we really are proud of our education department and what they do to help provide K-12 environment teachers who are really good at helping students become successful even as a K-12 environment. But then again, I think business continues, technology continues to be big areas. That's probably one of our biggest in the graduate area is graduate technology. Students doing data science, business analytics, computer science, cybersecurity.
Nice. All right, look. Andrew says, Dr. Jett is amazing. So grateful for his leadership at AU.
His office is right next to it, so he has to say.
He's just right over there. What is the number one, like if somebody said, like if Andrew came in your office right now and he said, give me your number one leadership tip because I have to go train someone to be a leader, what would you say?
I say this all the time. It's build resilience. And I think for me that was an early on thing. I learned that from my parents. I learned that from my siblings. I learned that from people around me, and that did me so much good when I was going through college and growing into my adult days. But life is hard. Life is difficult. Life is not fair. And this word change, people think, okay, we're going to change, and that change has a beginning and an end. It doesn't. Change is always. Change is just this thing we're in, where everything about our life is always changing. And so if you can build resilience in yourself to kind of accept that that's how the world works, that's how job works, that's how your family is going to work. Your family's going to change, your life's going to change, inside and outside of work. And if you can be positive about. Like, this is a good thing that you have opportunities. Change means there's usually opportunities available. Sometimes change comes in the form of maybe you're losing your job, or maybe that's just turn that around and look at it as an opportunity. And if you can go in to work and life with that mindset of that resilient mindset, you're gonna be really successful.
I like that. Should we ask? Do you have another question? Otherwise, I'm going to ask my last one. Okay. So, how is 2025 going for you and your goals? And how can the Kansas City community help you in Avila?
Well, obviously, we want to continue to grow. We don't want to just sit on our laurels and say we got to this 3,500 student mark and just stop there. We want to continue. There's a lot of pressures around enrollment. We're as an institution, as an industry, traditional undergraduate education is kind of starting to see the effects of low birth rates. Are starting to have fewer seniors, and that's going to catch up with us. We have a lot of international students, and those challenges are coming to us because of some of the challenges around visa and immigration statuses. So our goal is to continue to grow, but we're going to have to do that through a lot of innovative processes, new programming, ways that we can be distinctive as an institution. And so we're going to continue to do that. Our goal is to also be healthy. We want to be a sustainable, budget positive organization that can invest in things as we move forward. That's rare nowadays in higher education for schools to, especially private universities, to be in a position where they can say they have a balanced budget and they can not be have a deficit spending. So we're proud of the work that we've done to get ourselves to this point, and our goal is to continue to move in that direction.
Love it. All right, Alfredo has one last question.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it'd be good.
Just tell us what you want to do, Scott. We'll make it happen.
That's right. We'll interview all your amazing leaders. So, but
where's the best place for people to just follow you so they could just cheer you on?
LinkedIn is probably my most active space. I do write a few articles every once in a while on what's ever on my mind. So if you want to join me on my LinkedIn page, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you so much for coming on. This was absolutely our honor. Make sure that you guys check out Avila. Check out you guys always have shows, you have games, you have all sorts of things to go and support. It's a gorgeous campus too. If you've never been there, go check it out and let all your juniors and seniors in high school know.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Andy Jett. Best name ever. And we will see everybody else same time, same place next week. Go follow him on LinkedIn. Bye, guys.